This is my audience. Hello, my name is Terry Foley. Today I'm going to talk to you a little about guns and how to disassemble one, what they call field stripping, and reassemble one. It's a Springfield Armory XDM. Springfield Armory has been around since 1794. They've helped the United States military ever since 1794 with providing them with different guns and weapons. Some of the gun rights that have been involved, 1791, Second Amendment was adopted to the Constitution for the right to bear arms, and ever since then it's just been a wild sport with hunting and shooting and stuff like that. Number one thing you want to do though while playing with guns or handling guns of any kind is safety. Well, make sure you always have safety with always touching a gun. Always make sure that it's, when you touch a gun, you want to make sure you think it's loaded, even if it ain't loaded, because that's how accidents happen. So you always want to point it away or down at the ground anytime you mess with any kind of gun. Here is a XDM 40 caliber. It takes 17 shells, 16 in the clip, 1 in the chamber. One way to tell if it's loaded, there's a little button back here that would be all white there if it's loaded. Also, there's a thing here that pops up to let you know also when it is loaded. This is one way to field strip it. You pull the slide back, you push the button up to hold it in place right there. After you hold it in place, you hold the back there, which is the safety. You want to have the safety on. You want to pull that lever all the way up. After you pull the lever all the way up, you pull it back. You push the thing back down so it unreleases the slide. And then you can finally pull the slide completely off. This here is the bottom part of the gun. There's really not much to the bottom part. All there is a trigger and the bottom part. There's the safety. On this particular gun, there's a safety on each side, which makes it good for right-handed and left-handed people. That's one reason why I like it, because I'm a left-handed person. On the inside of this part, this is the main part of the gun. It's got the slide in it. It's got your firing pin, which is the back part here. It's also got the spring in here, which these go bad every so often. You want to replace the spring. Underneath the spring, you got barrel there, which I was looking inside of it, and it looks pretty clean. But you want to take the barrel out when you want to clean it, and you put it all back together the way you took it back apart. When you go to put back together, you got everything nice and snug in there, nice and tight. You check everything over. If you're going to let it sit for a while and you're not going to use it too much, you want to put oil on all the moving parts so it don't, just like a car or anything else. If you don't oil the moving parts, it can break or get real flimsy, and you don't want to have any kind of thing go wrong when you're, shooting a gun or practicing targets. You don't want it to jam up or a dry shot or anything like that, because then you're messing with it when it's loaded. And you don't want to really mess with the gun when it's loaded if you're not careful. So to put it back together, all you do is you leave that thing back up. You push the back right here. There's a little lever on the back. You slide it back on. Make sure it lines up in the back there, right under the little rails. Push it all the way in. You want to slide it back. Make sure that's all snug in there. Make sure that it goes in. When you hear a chamber like that, that means it's back together. Make sure it's all together right. You look down there, make sure that the spring is sitting in there right, and that it's not, backwards or upside down or anything like that. And after you check to make sure everything's lined up, pull it back, push the lever back down. One way to tell if it's the right way you've done it is you can just pull the trigger and you should hear it like it would fire, but there should be no shells in there. So make sure when you do this, you're outside, you want to point it down or point it at a target just in case there is a shell lodged in there. But since I know I've looked at this gun, I made sure there was no shells in there. I'm going to pull the trigger and you should hopefully be able to hear how it should fire with it being put back together right. It's not real loud, it just lets you know that it's put back together right. Another thing I have on me I want to show you is the bullet for a .40 caliber. That is the size of the bullet that goes into the gun itself. I will show you how to put that in to the clip. Some people have tools for it to make it easier to put in, especially when it's got a high capacity for bullets and ammunition. You got 16 and one in the clip. You don't want to sit there and be pushing on it all the time, putting a different bullet in every few seconds, because it really puts a hurting on your thumb. So it does come with a tool. My gun came with. It also comes with a carrying case. And another thing is, if you get a handgun, you don't have to have no permits or nothing like that, but to carry it, you do have to have a carrying permit, which you'll have to go to the local police station to file for a carrying permit. And that usually takes about 4 to 8 weeks. On rifles, though, and shotguns, you do not need a permit. So that's why a lot of hunters and stuff usually buy the shotguns and rifles and stuff like that, because they don't need no permit to have. But just to buy a gun, you have to be over the age of 18, and you cannot have, with a handgun, they do a background check, and you cannot have no felonies, or they will not let you buy a gun at all. And I just want to tell you guys thank you for letting me show you this today, and hopefully next time when you guys field dress a gun or you come across a gun, you might know a little bit more about it. Thank you. Goodbye.